Chasing hustle, the signs of female success without burnout. You've been told hustle is toxic, that science with its studies, protocols, and carefully curated balance acts holds the key to female success. But what if I told you both hustle and science are traps? Because here's the truth. The real danger isn't hustle. The real danger isn't science. The real danger is outsourcing your efforts to someone else's system. And until we see that, we women will keep running around dressed up as freedom. Here's the myth. The mainstream story goes like this. Hustle culture burns women out. The enlightened alternative is balance, self-care, and science-backed wellness. It feels liberating. It feels rational. But let's be honest. It's just another test. One era measured women by working by the hours worked. This era measures women by how perfectly they balance, optimize, and perform health. And either way, the ruler isn't yours. So let's pull back that curtain, because when we see what's really going on, you never hear the word balance in the same way again. Let me make this real. A friend of mine, let's call her Maya, worked at a big consulting firm. She was the only woman on her team. Hustle was just her ticket in. She was the first one in, last one out, every single day. That hustle got her noticed. It got her promoted. Fast forward a few years. The culture shifts. Suddenly, hustle is toxic. The firm rolls out science-backed wellness programs, daily step challenges, meditation as nutrition coaching. Sounds great, right? Except Maya had 2 kids at home. She had an extra 90 minutes for yoga and meal prepping quinoa bowls. So now she felt like she was failing again. First, it was the hustle hours. Now it's the wellness hours. Different ruler, same cage. And that's where first A begins. The trap of power and control. Hustle was never just oppression, it was leverage. For the first wave, women were breaking into boardrooms, law firms, hospitals. Hustle was the only weapon. Outwork the boys, outlast them, and prove your worth. That wasn't noble. That wasn't sustainable. It was necessary, and the pendulum swung. Hustle became the villain. Then came the white coat experts, the data, the neuroscience hacks, the corporate wellness programs. Science says wake up at 5 a.m. Science says gratitude journaling boosts performance. Science says don't hustle, optimize. Let's be real. How different is that from the hustle culture? One told you to grind until midnight, and the other tells you to grind until at dawn, with perfect sleep scores, meditation streaks, and green juice. One example is a Harvard Business Review article titled The Science of Resilience, framed like a cure, but read closely. It's another productivity manual. Science became the new overseer. Don't confuse expert validation with empowerment. Sometimes hustle unscientifically, unapologetically. Raw hustle was the only equalizer. But if hustle was leverage, then why does burnout feel like a guillotine? So let's talk about the burnout illusion hiding in plain sight. Burnout illusions, cluster B. People talk about burnout as if it's a feeling, like it's about stress, exhaustion, bad boundaries. But that's too soft. Burnout isn't just fatigue. Burnout is a tax. And like every tax, it doesn't affect everyone the same way. Some people pay it off without blinking, while others are wiped out. Executives can pay their burnout tax with therapy, spa retreats, or an extended sabbatical. They treat burnout like a deductible business expense. But for most women, burnout shows up like a tax bill you can't afford. It comes due to hospital bills, lost jobs, being quietly passed over for promotion. And there are no refunds. Look at the numbers. Women are almost twice as likely to leave the workforce due to stress-related health issues compared to men. A McKinsey study showed women in leadership leave at a high rate, even not because they lacked in talent, but because the burnout tax keep compounding. And when the companies offer wellness benefits, they're often perks for the already privileged. Flexible schedules, coaching, meditation apps. Who gets left out? The frontline workers, the caretakers, the alley staff. Tax does not apply equally for some. It's pennies, for others it's bankruptcy. Take two women. One is a tech VIP. She feels burnout coming. She tells her executive coach, book a week in Costa Rica, and comes back renewed. Her tax, inconvenient but manageable. The other's a nurse, juggling double shifts, caregiving at home. When burnout hits, she doesn't have savings for a retreat. She pushes through until her health collapses. Her tax isn't a temporary cost. It's a long-term debt paid in energy, health, and opportunity. Same word, burnout. Completely different tax brackets. This is why I don't buy the self-care gospel. Burnout isn't about scented candles or time management tips. Burnout is systemic. It's an unequal tax levied on women, and the poorer you are, the higher rate you are. The wealthy get to file for exemptions. Everyone else pays full price for their lives. And here's the kicker. Even if you pay the burnout tax, the system doesn't reward you, it punishes you. So the real question isn't how to avoid burnout. It's how do we stop playing a rigged tax game altogether? And that's where the myth of balance comes crashing down. Cluster C, hidden hustles. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Success without hustle is a myth. At the top, everyone hustles. They just rebrand it. The CEOs who brag about Zen mornings. They've got staff running around behind the curtain. Wellness influencers who preach balance. Their full-time job is posting about balance. Balance is the new hustle. And here's the most missed insight. Hustle wasn't just cause of the burnout, isolation was. Look back at earlier women's movements. They hustled hard. Protesting, organizing, second jobs, raising family. But they didn't do it alone. They did it together. Community protected them. Solidarity fueled them. The danger isn't hustle. The danger is hustling without community, without solidarity, without choice. But here's the twist. Even solidarity isn't enough if you're trapped in a system never designed for you. Here's what I mean when I say balance isn't just hustle rebranded. I know a woman named Elena who built a small design agency. She got sick of the hustle culture and said, I'm done with the late nights. I'm choosing balance. And what did balance look like? Tracking every hour of her sleep, perfecting her diet, scheduling yoga, meditation, journaling, networking lunches. She wasn't escaping the hustle. She wasn't just hustling a new name, balance. That's what she was doing. And here's the kicker. She told me she felt even more exhausted trying to do the balance right than she ever did pulling the late nights at the office. That's what I say. Balance itself has become performance work. And the danger isn't hustle, it's hustling without community, without solidarity, without choice. Come to cluster D, the gender cost. Here's what no one says. Hustle and science cultures were built on male blueprints. Corporate hustle, designed around male bodies. They're less likely to face reproductive health demands, childcare burdens, and menopause transitions. Scientific productivity hacks tested mostly on men. Even sleep studies, drug trials, and stress tests are overwhelmingly male biased. So when women try to fit into these molds, failure isn't weakness, it's a misfit. An example is Stanford's 2019 study on stress, which showed women's cortisol patterns diverge wildly from men's. Yet, the same stress cures are sold to birth. Another is the famous 10,000 step rule, first tested on Japanese male office workers in the 1960s. It was never validated for women juggling unpaid domestic labor. Here's the contrast. This is the real trap. Hustle was toxic because it ignored women's realities. Science is another trap because it still ignores women's realities. And maybe the answer isn't hustle or science. Perhaps the answer is building a success model, not borrowed from men, but built for women. So what does that model look like? And where the identity shift begins. You don't need to just swap hustle for science. You need to reclaim agency. Agency means sprinting when you decide, rest when you choose, and doing it with people who have your back. Success isn't freedom. Isn't freedom from effort. It's freedom to choose what effort is worth it. So how do you rewrite the system? The 3 C's of female success without burnout. First is choice. Define your sprints, your rests, not theirs. Number 2, community. Hustle together, never alone. Build solidarity poles. And third is context. Tailor strategies to your class, stage, and realities. To borrow playbooks that are not built for you. This isn't about working less. It's about working aligned. Let me strip that down into simple everyday terms. Choice just means deciding which battles are worth fighting for this week, instead of letting someone else decide. Community means not carrying the weight alone, whether it's friends, co-workers, or family who've got your back. Context just means being honest about your situation. Because advice that works for a CEO with childcare isn't the same advice that works for a single mom working shifts. That's it. It's not about perfect routines or perfect science. It's about building success on your terms, with your people and your reality. So, stop chasing hustle. Stop chasing science. Start chasing choice. Because the future of female success isn't less effort. It's a more brilliant, collective, chosen effort. It's just opened your eyes. The next step is in the playlist right here. Because watching one video won't rewrite the system. But rewriting the playbook together, that just might do it. So join the Reset and Rise Masterclass for free. The link will be in the comments. Bye for now.